Hey guys, D211 here to give you part 5 of the tutorial series for the speedrun of Final Fantasy IV Paladin run. For this one, we're going to go over the Octomamm fight. There's two ways to do this fight. First, we're going to show you the safe way, then we're going to show you the little bit faster but a little bit more complex way. So, to start, we're going to switch Cecil in to have the Darkness Sword. So, we're going to equip that, we're going to go out, we're going to fight. After that, we're going to cast Lightning 1. Then we're going to set Rydia up with the Dancing Dagger. Then we're going to throw it at Octomamm. And we're just going to repeat this the entire time. Tella can heal up Rydia if she gets to either very, very low health about to die, and there's still quite a bit of the fight left, or he can cast life if she dies. Once again, only if there's a lot of the fight left. If he gets down to like his last couple of hits, just go ahead and clean him up with Cecil. It's faster to do it that way. Rydia does lose out on a little bit of EXP, but it really only costs about 5 HP on your max value later on, so it's not too big of a deal. So, this is just rinse repeat. There's nothing special here. You are hoping that Rydia doesn't get hit a lot because she is your main damage dealer. Cecil is doing a lot as well though, so it's not a big deal. Towards the end of the fight, you could parry with Tella as well, just because Rydia is going to be doing so much more damage, and he's going to do very little damage at the very end. That attack animation for Lightning 1 is also fairly lengthy, so you can always just parry it out. And so one thing to note about Octomamm is actually whenever he loses his tentacles, he actually loses speed as well. So if you notice, he's hitting us less and less the longer the fight goes. So the more damage you can do to him earlier, like the slower he's going to get, meaning the less damage he'll do to you later. So he actually is really close to death here. He's on his last tentacle. So a couple of dancing daggers or a dancing dagger and a couple of Cecil attacks should get him. And the ideal way this fight would go would be that Rydia stays alive and actually Tella would die somehow. He does not need experience, and it'd be nice to give the experience to the rest of the party since they're actually useful. But it's not a big deal if he stays alive, and I wouldn't waste the time trying to kill him off. If he dies naturally, great. If not, then just leave him there. Cool. And so we got through that fight. Nothing special there. You notice we didn't even have to heal. We could have healed with Tella if we were really worried about it. He's not going to one-hit Rydia and kill her at all. So that's a pretty safe fight and a pretty safe technique to do it. But if you notice, it took a little bit of time. There's a little more of an expert strategy that we can utilize to actually just maximize our damage output as fast as we want to go. So let's do this fight again, but this time let's go ahead and stop Tella. And what I mean by that is Tella has the stop spell, so that'll stop an enemy's ATB for a given amount of time. I say enemy, but it also will stop an ally's ATB for an amount of time. So the fight's going to start out mostly the same, in that we're going to equip the Darkness Sword onto Cecil. We're going to attack with him. But then whenever we go to Tella, we're actually going to cast Stop on himself. So now what that does is his ATB actually stops, so he's going to stop having turns. This allows Rydia and Cecil to get more attacks in, and actually they do more damage anyway, so really it's just a faster way of doing damage. Because if you notice, Lightning 1 does about as much damage as Cecil does, but it takes much longer. And obviously it's slower and does less damage than Dancing Dagger. And so for this, you get 2 attacks for Cecil for every one of Rydia, so you can also prepare for it that way. With Tella's speed in there, it's a little bit of a crapshoot. You can kind of guesstimate whenever he's going to have stuff, but he'll pop in there every once in a while, just because his speed is not quite on par with how Rydia is about half of what Cecil is. What's nice about stopping Tella here is that he's actually still a meat shield. He can take damage. Octomamm can hit him whenever he feels like. That doesn't take him out of a turn rotation in any form or fashion, so he's still good to go. So eventually Tella will come out of stop though, so you'll need to cast it twice. Well, he just came out of stop. Unfortunately, we attacked with him. Ideally there, you'd want to notice he's coming out of stop and then just cast stop on him again. So that's what we'll do next time he comes up. So this is sort of an expert technique in that it opens up to vulnerabilities for having Tella stopped. Because he stopped, you don't have a healer. So if Rydia happened to die, or Cecil did, or you needed just a heal, just to make sure you got through the fight, you don't have that available at this point. So say you got unlucky and Rydia would have died right there, you'd still have quite a bit of the fight left, but you wouldn't have a healer for a while. You can of course overcome that, and there's still a chance that you could finish the fight with Cecil. Also, Tella eventually will end his stop, so he'll be able to come out and then heal up Rydia at that point, but you're ideally hoping not to see that happen. So those were the two different ways to fight Octomamm. Hopefully you've learned a lot and can utilize the stop technique eventually going forward. But now we're on to the next split, which is going to be through Antlion. So thanks for watching, and we will see you later.